Hey, my name is Tashira, and this is my multiple sclerosis journey. Hey y'all! So, in this video, I'm going to be talking about the medications that work for me having multiple sclerosis. I currently take Ocrevus. Ocrevus is an infusion given through an IV, given to me every 5 to 6 months, which I usually prefer to have it done earlier because by the 6th month, everything seems to get more difficult. So the earlier I take the medication, the better. Ocrevus is FDA approved and it is used to treat relapsing or primary progressive forms of multiple sclerosis. So I'm gonna basically give y'all a rundown of how that day goes. If I have to be there at 8 o'clock in the morning, I will get there and I will get checked in and I'll sit there for maybe 15 minutes, and then they give me pills. They give me Benadryl and they give me Tylenol, or I actually think it's ibuprofen, but they give me like 4 pills and I take those before they actually get the medicine up, get it hooked up and everything. But after, usually, and I think that's why I'm always so drowsy, because of the medicine that they give me, because Benadryl makes you sleepy anyway, on top of whatever is in the medication that may make me drowsy. But once I take the pills and then they hook up the medicine, so that's like another 20 minutes because I'm waiting. So then once they finally get the IV and they get everything hooked up, they start the medicine. And after they start the machine, they check on me. They check on me often. Like, they do take care of me and they give me snacks. But they check on me, and I believe it takes, online it says it takes 2.5 hours. It doesn't. It can't possibly take that long. I think it's maybe 3 or 4 hours. But after it's actually done, they have you sit there for like an hour to see if you have any reactions or anything like that. So altogether, that's why I say it's about 5 to 6 hours altogether. And I cannot drive after. I always get somebody to take me and pick me up, or somebody will sit there with me, because I get so drowsy and I'm always really, really tired after. It only makes sense for me not to drive anyway. So I know you can get itching, rashes, hives, fevers, things like that. But for me, I only get headaches and fatigue. I get really, really tired. And usually, because the process of me getting the Ocrevus is a couple of hours, like 5 to 6 hours. I'd say 5 hours. After that, the rest of the day is usually a rest day for me because I'm typically really, really tired. So, does Ocrevus work? I think it works. I actually like it better. I've only had 2 different medications since I was diagnosed, but I like this one better than my last one because I think the process is just easier. It's an easier process. And it only happens every so often, but does it make me feel better? Yes. And I only hesitate to say that because when I first started getting it, of course, it was a new medication, so it affected my body differently, and it was great then. Now, I don't feel the same way, but I do think it works. The whole goal of Ocrevus is to improve the ability to move. And for me, it's my legs, because my legs don't always like to move. And that's why I end up walking funny most of the time. But I do think the medication works. When I was first diagnosed, I was recommended to start using Copaxone. And Copaxone had an auto-eject. That's what it's called. This is what I had to use to inject myself 3 times a week. The medicine was in a needle, and it wasn't bad. I didn't like it because I had to inject myself and it hurt. I mean, eventually I got used to it, but I still didn't like it. It reminds me, actually, I would compare this to an EpiPen because it makes the same noise. But you put the needle in, you have to put the needle in and you push it down. And then you twist it back together. And the needle would be in there. And then you would push it. you would push it and it would inject. And this is when I would have to put it here and in my thighs and in my hip. But I would do my butt cheek. I mean, I did it because I had to. It was necessary at the time, and I didn't know of any other medication. So that's what I used to use, and I don't really like that, which is why I'm glad I have Ocrevus now. But if you have MS, that might be okay for you. So if you have multiple sclerosis and you're trying to figure out what medication to take, I know of Copaxone and I know of Tecfidera, which is an oral treatment. I've heard that one is better and I've seen the commercial, but I like Ocrevus right now, and if it's necessary for me to change medications, then I'll see later. But for right now, I'm fine. I'm content. If you have multiple sclerosis, you just gotta see what works best for you. I don't think it's a bad thing to try different medications because it's all working to accomplish the same thing, but I think it's a personal preference. So my last infusion was November 16th, 2019. And my next one, I believe, is scheduled for March or April. But I will actually end up tracking month to month how I feel. And so you all can see, I guess, basically how it helps or how long it helps. And if you have MS, you'll see how long it takes to, not to feel bad, but basically when it starts wearing off, you'll be able to see, but I'll track my progress and how it works for me because I really feel like it'll be different for everyone, but we'll see.